If I had to move to Charlotte in 2026 with no plan at all, here's exactly what I would do first. Not eventually, not when I get around to it, the very first thing. I've been researching Charlotte for the last 18 months, visited multiple times, more than my two hands could count. I learned what works and what doesn't. And if I had to start over today from scratch, here's the 5 steps that I'd follow in order. So if you're planning on moving to Charlotte and you don't know where to start, this is gonna be your playbook. Now let's get into it. Here's the thing about moving to a new city. Most people just do random research, and I get it. You watch the YouTube videos, you're gonna scroll on Reddit, and you're going to look at Zillow. And 6 months later, you feel super overwhelmed, confused, and you are no closer to actually moving. That's the backwards way to do things. What you need is a system, a step-by-step process that takes you from thinking about moving to Charlotte to I'm ready to move and let's get on the road. So here are the 5 steps in order that I'd follow if I were starting today. And the key word here is order. Don't skip ahead. Do these in sequence. Step 1 is going to be the reality check. Before you research neighborhoods, before you look at houses, before you do anything else, you need to answer 5 questions very honest. And I'm talking about look yourself in the mirror when you're doing this. These are the questions that's going to determine if Charlotte even makes sense for you or not. And if you skip this step, you're going to waste months of researching a move that may not even work for you. Question number 1. What is my income going to be in Charlotte? If you're keeping your coastal salary and you're working remote, great. Charlotte's gonna feel super affordable, especially my Silicon Valley people. But if you're starting a new job, taking a pay cut, or building a business from scratch, you need to know exactly what 1 year looks like financially. For me personally, that looked like I'm making 6 figures in Buffalo, right? Let's keep it there. But in Charlotte year 1, I may take a slight dip, but I'm working on it's not too big of a drop off because you have to understand, yes, I'm still managing my team in Buffalo, but in Charlotte, I'm technically starting over, right? That's why I'm shooting these YouTube videos. If you're moving to Charlotte, give me a call. We would love to help you purchase your house. But know your income, not what you hope it will be, what it actually will be year 1. Question number 2, how much equity am I bringing? This is going to be huge. If you're selling a $900,000 condo or house in Boston to buy a $600,000 house here in Charlotte, you're walking away with some serious cash. You're probably gonna put a lot of that inside your pocket. That's amazing. And be debt free? That's crazy. Now, if you're selling a $250,000 house in Ohio, let's say, to buy a $600,000 house here in Charlotte, your down payment options are going to look very different. Know your equity number. That determines how much house you can afford, whether you're upgrading or if you feel like you might be stretching it out a little bit. Question number 3. What is my timeline? Are you 3 months out? Are you 18 months out? This changes everything. If you're only 3 months out, for instance, you may need to rent first. You don't have the time to research every single neighborhood like someone who's 18 months out. You can take your time. You can visit multiple times and really dial in on the right area that's for you or you and your family. Know your timeline and be realistic about how much time you actually have. Question number 4, what are my family obligations? Are you moving solo, married, kids, aging parents? This will change what you prioritize. If you have kids, schools are going to matter to you. You're looking at different neighborhoods compared to a person who's going to be single, living la vida local, and probably just want to go out every single night. If you have aging parents back home, you need to be near an airport for frequent trips. Or you may have to think about a casista for them to eventually move in with you. Know your family situation. That filters everything else out. Question number 5. What lifestyle am I actually trying to live? Do you want to be walkable and central or land and quiet? Do you want to be 10 minutes from uptown or are you looking or being okay with being 30 minutes out? Do you need top tier schools or are you flexible? Be honest about your lifestyle. Not what sounds cool, but what you actually enjoy on the day-to-day basis. So step 1, answer those 5 questions. Write them down. Income, equity, timeline, family, lifestyle. Because if you can't answer those clearly, you're not going to be ready for step 2. This is your foundation. Everything else will build on top of this. Step number 2 is going to be deciding whether you guys are buying first or if you're going to be renting. And I know what you're thinking. Of course I'm going to buy first. I'm not throwing away money on rent. I get it. I promise you. But let's just slow down for 1 minute. Here are the situations where renting first may be the smartest move. The first one is your timeline is just tight. You probably less than 6 months out. If you're moving in 3 to 4 months, you don't have time to research every single neighborhood properly, find the right house, close, and move. You're gonna drive yourself crazy. Renting for 6 to 12 months gives you time to learn the city, visit the neighborhoods in person, and make a smart purchase. Because buying the wrong house because you were too hasty in your moves can cost you way more than even that 1 year's worth of rent. Number 2, you're not sure which part of Charlotte to live in, which is understandable. Charlotte is a big area. I'm telling you guys, a lot bigger than most people think. And if you only visit it once or maybe twice or never, you don't really know the Charlotte area like that. What looks good on a map may feel totally different once you start living there. So renting in one area allows you to kind of test drive the city a little bit before committing to a $450,000 house. Number 3 is that your income is a little bit unstable, or you're going to be very uncertain what year 1 financially looks like for you. If you're starting a new business, freelancing, taking a new job where income isn't guaranteed, renting gives you that flexibility. You're not locked into a mortgage if things don't go as planned. Your financial flexibility is worth more than building equity if, and only if, your income is going to be a little bit shaky. Now let's kind of flip the script a little bit. Here's where you should buy right away. Number 1, if you've researched heavily, you watch all my videos, and you know exactly where you want to live. If you visited 5 or more times, you have family in the area, you've driven a lot of the neighborhoods you're considering, and you know exactly what you want, yes, go ahead and buy. No point of renting if you're confident in your decision. Number 2, you're bringing significant equity and rates are favorable. Right now, the Fed has been dropping rates. I know some people who just got 5.5. Depending on your credit score, you can probably get a little bit lower than that. But if you're walking away from your house with $100,000 in equity and mortgage rates are decent, buying makes sense for you. I get it. Locking in your payment and building equity immediately. Go for it. Number 3, your timeline is long. You have about 12 to 18 months to move to the Charlotte area. Basically, you move it in 2027. If you got 1 year to plan, you have time to research, visit, find the right house, and close without rushing. That's the biggest thing. So step number 2 is going to be deciding whether renting or buying is good based on your specific situation. Tight timeline, uncertain income, or you don't know the city, I would rent first. Have you researched solid equity and you have a longer timeline? Buy right away, you should be good to go. I always tell people there's no right answer in this. It's only the right answer that works for you. Now, let's move on to step 3. Step number 3 is writing a short list of 3 to 5 areas based on the reality check that we talked about earlier. Now that you know your income, equity, timeline, family situation, and lifestyle, you can actually start to kind of narrow down where in Charlotte that you want to live. But don't just pick the popular neighborhoods. Pick the ones that fit you and your answers from step 1. You just did the work. Stick to it. Here's how to build your short list. Filter number 1 is going to be budget. Based on your income, equity, what can you actually afford? If your budget is $350 to $450, you're probably looking at Still Creek, Mallard Creek, parts of East Charlotte, parts of West Charlotte. You can definitely stretch your dollar a little bit further if you move up to Concord and Kannapolis if you like that small town feel. If your budget is $600 to $900,000, you got a lot of options, which is very nice. South Charlotte, Audra Kelly, Providence Schools, parts of Ballantyne, certain Lake Normans, Huntersville, Mooresville. Like, you can really stretch it out. And if you still want that old charm, I would think about Elizabeth, because it's very walkable. You can still get in and out of the city, and you get that nice old charm that a lot of people enjoy. But don't waste time looking at neighborhoods that you can't afford. I remember when I first started looking at Charlotte, I was looking at South Park. What am I doing over here when the minimum house is $900,000? We ain't spending that right away, and I'm cool with that. Now, filter number 2 is gonna be based on your lifestyle. What lifestyle am I looking to live? You gotta narrow that down. Do you want walkable and central? Dilworth, Plaza Millwood, Noda, if your budget allows, will allow you to live in those type of areas, or uptown in all honesty. If you want land and quiet, Mooresville, Waxhaw, Reading, Weddington, and Huntersville. If you want more family oriented with good schools, South Charlotte, South Park, Lake Norman, Ballantyne. Match neighborhoods to your actual lifestyle and not just what sounds cool online. Number 3 is going to be your commute and your daily routines. I feel like this is a really underestimated one, in all honesty, because based on where you'll be driving every day, the work, the gym, groceries, kids stuff, what areas are going to make sense based on your lifestyle and the things that you like to do. If your job is in uptown, you're probably not going to Lake Norman, which is a 45 to 6-minute drive each way. You're going to be listening to a lot of podcasts, I can tell you that. If you work remote and you never go downtown, it doesn't make sense to even look in uptown or the 4th Ward or 1st Ward or anything like that if that's not an area that you're looking at. Map your daily life and pick areas that are going to support it. If you guys have kids or plan to have kids, schools narrow your options quickly. I can tell you that. Top tier schools, those kind of 9 out of 10s, 8 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s, you're easily paying $700,000 plus. Providence, South Charlotte area, right down in that area. Mid-tier schools, you're probably looking at between 5 to 6s with solid programs. You have more options in that $400,000 to $500,000 range, and it does not mean that the schools are bad. Decide on what you actually need for your kid, because you'll see there are some schools that don't rank super high on greatschools.org or US News, but they are decent to good schools with good programs. Ask parents in the area, jump on their school website, and use this as a catalyst to be able to know, hey, is this school going to be good for me and my kids? And ask those questions to make sure you get a firm answer. Because that 9 out of 10, I just don't want you guys to go house poor trying to get into that top tier school where a 6 out of 10 school is probably going to be decent. Moving on to step number 4. We need to visit those 3 to 5 areas. If you can't do it in person, you need to do a virtual tour. You have to see the neighborhood that you're going to be living in. So if you can see it in person, here's going to be a great weekend plan for you guys. And I give this to everybody. Day 1 is to drive the actual neighborhood on your short list. Don't just drive the main streets or where the intersections are. You need to get back in the nitty-gritty to all those residential streets where you're gonna live. You need to see if somebody is playing mechanic in their front drive or everything is nice and maintained. Pull into those subdivisions, drive around at different times. I always say Tuesday morning, for instance, the evening, and definitely on the weekend. How does it feel? Do you see families? Are yards maintained? Is there traffic? Is it congested on the back street because they just put a 300 family home new build behind an existing home and now it's backing up traffic all the time? Y'all can tell this is a big problem in Charlotte. Yes, it is. You're not looking at houses just yet on this day. Just look at the vibes in the area. Number 2, or day 2, pick one neighborhood from your short list and pretend you live there. Drive to where your job would be or the ones that you want to have. Find the closest grocery store. Find the gym that you're actually gonna go to. How long does this each drive take? Is this manageable? Or if you're in the car just visiting, it already feels exhausting. These are things you want to do for each of the neighborhoods that's on your 3 to 5 short list. Day number 3 is going to be visiting during the night and the weekdays. I will also throw in visiting homes at this time, just so you can kind of knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. And the reason why I say this is because you don't want to look at more than 5 houses in a day. I do this on the daily basis. And even looking at 6 houses in a day for me, stuff starts to get blurry. You don't remember what living room went with this, what bedroom size was with this. It gets blurry. Look at 5 houses and then at night, go back towards that neighborhood and see what a Saturday afternoon looks like. See what a Tuesday night looks like. You really want to see what a Friday night looks like visiting after dark. This is going to be one of those things where you can really decide, is this area going to be safe for me, or is this area going to cross me right off this neighborhood, or am I going to cross this right off my neighborhood list? Now, if you cannot see these neighborhoods in person, use Google Street View. You will get at least a virtual tour of everything, or just watch some of the virtual and vlog tours that we did on side the channel here, and you'll be able to get a good sense of what's going on in that neighborhood. So if you're looking at Google Street View and you're looking at YouTube videos, the next thing you can do is join the neighborhood Facebook groups. Ask real questions. What do you love? What do you wish you knew before moving into this area? And I guarantee you, people are going to give you more information than you ever wanted. Now, number 4 is going to be using crime maps. Now, they may not tell the entire story, but they will give you a lay of the land as to what certain intersections or certain blocks are going to be the ones to stay away from. Remember, Charlotte is a block by block, and you can live on this block, make 2 rights, and it'd be totally different. Virtuals aren't the perfect research, right? I'd rather you see it with your own 2 eyeballs, but it's better than guessing. So step number 4 is going to be visit in person or virtually test drive the neighborhoods that you really want. Now let's get on into final step, which is build the move plan. Step number 5 is going to be build your actual move plan with dates, a budget, and a team. Now you know where you're moving, time to figure out how and when you're going to be doing that. Here's what goes into your move plan. Number 1, lock in your move date. Pick an actual date, not just sometime next year, because then you're never gonna move. Pick an actual month, summer 2026, January 2027, whatever it is, lock it in right now. Once you have that date, you can work backwards, or I like to say reverse engineer everything to build that specific timeline. Number 2 is gonna be build a full budget. Guys, listen to me. Not just your mortgage, your full monthly cost. Mortgage, PITI, principal, insurance, tax, and interest. You need that, especially if you guys are not putting 20% down, which a whole lot of people are not. You're gonna have some PMI, so you wanna know. HOAs are huge in Charlotte. Utilities, especially during the summer months, it gets hot. Vehicle tax, garbage tax if you guys are on the outskirts, and closing costs. Add everything up. It goes fast, it comes fast, and you're gonna spend money, so you don't wanna underestimate and leave yourself broke when you go to the closing table. Number 3, and this is probably the most important thing. You need to know who in Charlotte is going to help you execute your plan. Your realtor is going to be the one who specializes in location, or relocation, I should say. Your lender, someone who's licensed in North Carolina. Get pre-approved before you start looking. Do not look on Zillow, look at the price, look at the mortgage payment and say, oh, I can afford that. That's not smart. I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of people get disappointed doing it that way. Your attorney. North Carolina is an attorney state. You need to have one at closing. This can be an extra $750 to about $1,000, depending on which one you go with. And last but not least, your moving company or truck rental. Pods are expensive. I got a quote. It was $3,000 to come from my hometown down to Charlotte, not including any storage. So do not try this alone. Build your team, know what each person is going to be doing. And again, if you need a realtor, give us a call. We would love to help. That way, this can be smooth as possible for you guys. And then you guys can create your timeline and work backwards from that move date. So let's just say your move date is June 2026. April 2026, you start packing and finalizing your closing for sure. March 2026, under contract. February 2026, you're actively looking to give yourself some time. January, you know you need to get pre-approved and assemble your team. And that's just working back to front. So build your timeline, put dates on everything, and once it's on your calendar, it's real. All right, so let's recap. If I had to move to Charlotte in 2026 from scratch, here's the 5-step plan I'd follow. Step number 1, reality check. Answer 5 questions. Income, equity, timeline, family, lifestyle. Write down your answers, don't guess. Number 2, decide if you're gonna rent or buy. A tight timeline or uncertain, please just rent first. Heavy research, solid equity, buy right away. You're in a good position. Step number 3, a short list of 3 to 5 areas. Filter by budget, lifestyle, schools, commute. Don't research 20 areas. Pick 3 to 5. I'm telling y'all, I did that. It's bad trying to look at 20 different neighborhoods. It doesn't make any sense. Step number 4 is visit or virtually test drive. See your short list in person with your 2 eyeballs or do it virtually. Narrow down 1 to 2 areas for yourself. Number 5, the 5th and final one, build a move plan. Lock in the date. Calculate. Full budget. Assemble the team and create the timeline. Do these in order. I'm telling y'all, do not skip ahead. Most people jump straight to just looking at houses on Zillow because they're excited. But that's backwards and that's the wrong way to do things. Trust me, take it from experience. Follow this 5-step plan and your move to Charlotte will be so smooth. You can do it with confidence and it's not gonna be as confusing. So if you want help in executing this 5-step plan, this is exactly what Kevin and I do. We help you, we give you all of this and break everything down, hop on a Zoom call, reverse engineer, and we'll be able to help you find the best situation and the best options for you based on your situation. So hit us up with a call, email, text, it does not matter. We'll jump on a Zoom call immediately. That way we can get face to face, even if it's virtual. And then that way we can make this smooth as possible. And we can do this without all the stress. All right. But until next time, or until we jump on a phone call, I will see you guys very soon.